So you're new to the gym and everybody's been talking about bulking, lean bulking, dirty bulking, and you're either fat or skinny and you're trying to figure out what to do. So I've been in the same situation. 2 years ago, I was skinny. I wanted to bulk, build a little bit of mass. I did multiple different kinds. I was eating clean at a point with mixing between dirty bulking and then just straight dirty bulking for a really long time. I did it for like 8 months. And here are the benefits that I found with the differences. And you might want to take a little bit of notes on what to do, because in this situation, you're either going to take the lean bulk road or you're going to take the dirty bulking road, which is essentially your quickest road, I should say. But not all quick roads are the roads that you want to take. So I'm going to get into it. When we do lean bulking, we are literally eating foods that are protein based with healthy fats. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably new to the gym, so you don't know that there are healthy fats. Essentially, you do need fat in your body. So you'll hear people talking on the internet about, no, I have 0% body fat. You do not have 0% body fat because you'd be dead. You could have a 10% body fat, 15%. It can go higher than that. But lower is essentially you saying that it's just really dangerous. But to get into whole this whole thing, clean bulking is like basically you just eating clean foods. That would be like chicken and rice, right? And that would be like you eating, you know, protein based meals so that you are prepped. Now, essentially, most bodybuilders, before they go into shows, especially the natural bodybuilders, they love to prep before going in. So they prep months, like a year at least, in of just eating and hopefully having this goal of where they'd be set to somehow achieve their goal, right? Their certain body weight. Like if you are 70 kgs and you have this achievement by the end of the year that you want to hit 100 kgs, you're going to lean bulk, right? And if you lean bulk, it takes you a lot longer to obviously put on size to obviously get to where you want to be. So I'm starting with lean bulking first because it's your most healthiest kind. Lean bulking can essentially be you making smoothies as well and mixing a bunch of things in there that is healthy. So like for instance your fruits, or for instance your whey protein, stuff like that. Essentially, that is what builds you. And there is a guarantee that if you lean bulk, you will see a lot more size if you trust the process. So clean bulking is your definite best option as a person who might be skinny, as a person who is fat. Now, the thing is, people who are overweight, if you're underweight, you can lean bulk. But if you are overweight, bulking is not your option. And I'll actually make a video on why, if you're new to the gym and you're overweight, why you should be cutting. And the difference is that you might find that a lot of people talk about how you should constantly do cardio, right, when you are cutting. But I've also found that a lot of people who, especially one of my friends, when he was doing cardio, right, and he stopped doing cardio, but he was just lifting, I started noticing more changes in his lifting. And I could actually refer him to the bottom of the description, and you guys can go check his Instagram page out and what he posts. But back to what we're talking about. When you lean bulk, as a person who is extremely underweight, essentially you are going to increase in more muscle mass, but you need to understand that it's not something that you can just do and it's going to be easy. Remember, as natural people, when we lift as naturals, the amount of muscle we can build versus the amount of muscle the person on steroids could build is a lot less, right? But your first year of lifting, you're supposed to be putting on a lot of muscle. That is whether you are willing to train. Okay, so that doesn't mean that the fat person is, and I know I said fat person, I should say overweight person, but that doesn't mean that the person with overweight will not build that much muscle. Trust me, they build the exact same amount of muscle in the first year. depending on your genetics as well. So being a bodybuilder, right, it's all about genetics. So when you're lean bulking, you're going to put on a fair amount of muscle. Now, lean bulking is perfect because you can do it, and it's not overeating yourself to the point of puking, but it's eating the right foods and calculating every single thing that you do. Everything you eat must be calculated, and the amount you're eating must be calculated, and you should weigh your food. Cool. That is lean bulking. There's another thing that comes with lean bulking. Unfortunately, if you have enough money for it, you will be able to lean bulk. But if you do not have money, lean bulking might not be your option. But that's not me saying that I'm referring to you to go straight into dirty bulking. I want you to listen to when I talk to you about dirty bulking, because this is a really, really big step. And it's a thing that even as a person who was underweight and is now currently sitting with a lot of muscle on himself. I mean, I was at least 41, 40. I'm currently 55. I've put on a fair amount of muscle in 2 years. I'm going for 3 years now. And as far as my experience came, I could kind of tell you why you should do this. So if you have enough money, my best bet for you, go and lean bulk if you're a person who is extremely underweight. Okay. Now here's where the other thing comes in. Oh, dirty bulking. That is a whole different story. Now, essentially dirty bulking is still tracking your calories, but just shoving in whatever you can. You are basically, you'd be at McDonald's, right? You could have 3 McDonald's burgers for 1,000 calories, right? So each one of those McDonald's burgers are 1,000 calories. You're basically consuming 3,000 calories. Your dirty bulking is something that that you would essentially just shove whatever you can into your mouth to get to your calories, right? So when you're tracking calories, you have a certain amount you're supposed to get in every single day, and how much you are tracking. And that also accentuates to your weight, right? So for instance, you are a skinny person and you're trying to bulk and you've gotten dirty bulking. Cool. You're gonna put on a lot of fat. You're gonna get really big, really fast, but not good big. You're going to be fat. You're gonna have a bit of a belly. You're going to notice fat around your biceps, around every single one of your muscle groups. There will be fat, right? This is now, you're no longer lean, you are fat, and your body percentage is going up. But another thing is your cortisol is increasing, and this your you used to be shredded, you used to see your abs and everything. It's now you feel big, you're jacked now you feel pretty big, you've got a lot of energy in the gym, you are ready to lift a lot of weight. When I was dirty bulking for that 8 months, I picked on a lot of weight. I was almost pushing to 60. I could have gone to 60, but I said no, I'll cut. And that's where I figured I kind of ruined myself, right? So it seems like it's this beautiful thing to do, but it eventually takes away your chisel. It stops making you super lean around your ab area because your abdominals do not grow the way you think they do. So your abdominals are obviously, your abs are not showing so chiseled as they used to be, right? But that doesn't mean that you can't still cut down just a little bit and kind of chisel them. So you're trying to grow very quick, you're skinny, you want to grow. If you're a fat person, if you're overweight and you're listening to this, do not bulk. Please. I promise you, do not bulk. A lot of my friends have done this as well, where they are extremely overweight and then they're like, okay, I'm going to bulk. Do not bulk. What my best bet for you is gym. Just lift some weights. You already got them. You've already got it there. If you just keep lifting, you're going to see progress. And that's exactly what counts. So for the skinny person, if you're going to dirty bulk, obviously you're going to be shoving in a lot of things. You need to work out where you want to be and how you want to do it. It's not pretty. It's not as good as you think it is. I would stick to lean bulking. If I was you, just lift some weights. A lot of people have also spoke about how bulking and stuff has been bolted. If you go to Greg Doucette's videos, he talks about how it's been voted. It's not a guarantee that it works. But then there are still a few of us lifters who are like, yeah, if you bulk, it will work. Greg Desset, I think, is he's a science-based lifter. So you know, there's a lot of different kind of videos, different kind of YouTubers you would watch in the bodybuilding industry who were either going to be science-based lifters or going to be some heavy compound lifters or calisthenics. So again, bulking, if you are ready for the kind of step, if you're ready to take that kind of step, you're like, okay, I want a dirty bulk. I want to get as big as possible. You're going to get very big, but you're not going to get big like, you know, bicep wise, where your biceps are going to be like 22 inches. Again, there is a really big, unfortunate thing going around in this body inflation, well, the gym inflation industry, where we are now currently sitting at. We got fooled, unfortunately. We're looking at steroid users. Anybody who is roughly the same size as David Lade is unfortunately on steroids. There's no way they are natural. If you look up the actual naturals, you will find a few of them. Again, bulking comes into this category of, if you really want good size bulking, is there. There's also supplements you could take that allow you to get bigger. And overall, this is exactly where you'd want to be, right? If you are someone like me who obviously wants to be IFBB Pro, a Mr. Olympia one day, and even though I might not be that big, most people would consider this a pretty good amount of muscle. I saw me being overconfident in myself, that it's just, this is how you would look 2 years into bodybuilding, right? Like me. I've been in and out of the gym. That means like I have sort of been into the gym and then I've been training back at home. I've done calisthenics. I've done everything so far for the 2 years. Now I just lift weights. I have a few weights at home. I lift weights, and guess what? I'm still growing. I still see changes every single day. I didn't give up, regardless. Now, if you're a person who is skinny, listen to me. You're not going to see changes in the next 2 to 3 days. Okay? It's genetics. If you start to see a little bit of changes, do not be discouraged. You're not going to look like Sam Sulek. You're not going to look like, you know, David Lade in the next 2 to 3 days, but trust the process. If you're a fat person, trust the process. When I was a little bit young, I was like 13 years old, I was also fat. I was severely overweight, and it was discouraging. I know exactly how it feels because I've had both. Severely discouraging for me to look at myself in the mirror. And when I would do a little bit of workouts, I wouldn't see what I wanted to see. It was very, very discouraging for me. I hated the way I looked. I hated the way people looked at me. I felt unconfident in myself. But then it changed. Now I sit here. I look good. I feel good. And anybody wants to tell me in the comment sections, you guys shut up, alright? You just shut up. I know I'm not David Lade's size. I may not be Joe Fazer, but for what I've put on in 2 years, I'm pretty proud of. I think it's made me overall very confident in myself. I could say that, yes, I don't have 22-inch biceps, but my strength is there as well. It matches up. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe and hit the post notifications to be notified whenever I post a video. And if you want more kind of content like this, make sure to leave a comment down below and let me know. I'm very interested to hear your guys' thoughts, and if you are feeling discouraged, write something down in the comment section. We can all help each other out. This is a family. We're going to grow together. And thank you for watching this video, guys.